I wasn't ready. Hold on. Sorry. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the NightThemedRave podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Raven the Wraith. Just call me Raven. Really quick before we start, Monkey, you accidentally did the wrong link. You fixed it. Cool. And tonight, as usual, joined is the two hosts. I don't know what I'm saying. Monkey.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lord Ed Monkey. I am, as usual, very wholesome and glad to be back for yet another episode.
And Karma.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Heir of Karma, the scuffed one of these podcasts.
And today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite games, definitely, I would say my second favorite horror game, Spooky's Jumpscare Mansion. Also known as Spooky's House of Jumpscares. Also, slap an HD renovation on the end if you want.
Yeah.
So you guys have not played this game.
I have not.
Seen a lot of gameplay.
before I even did anything, at first I thought it was gonna be like one of those kitty type horror games. Holy shit, it is not.
Yeah. It lures you into a false sense of security and then really busts out the cool shit.
Which is actually a great thing to do for a horror game,
Hmm.
because it makes the further jump scares that much better.
Yeah. So real quick, in this episode we're going. I just realized there's no background music on. One moment. I'm like not prepared. I just got home from watching Spider-Man. I want to talk about it, but I'm not allowed to. So, you guys haven't seen it yet, but it is fucking amazing.
I'm definitely going to.
It is
Definitely going to.
probably my favorite Marvel movie so far.
Really?
Yeah, it's that good.
God damn.
Well, I might have to check it out then. I might have to check it out even sooner than I thought I was gonna.
Yeah. Alright, I got the background on, but I think it's a little loud. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit more. So, Spooky's Jumpscare Mansion. The premise of the game... Okay, before I get into that, I just want to say, we are going to be talking about spoilers, but when I do talk about spoilers, I will show text on the screen that says the word spoilers. So, just look on the bottom right corner of your screen. I will show what it looks like in just 1 second. So when you see that giant red letters that say spoilers, that means we're talking about spoilers, and as soon as it's gone, we're no longer talking about spoilers, so you can tune back in if you want to avoid major spoilers. But we are going to be talking about every single specimen, monster, and doll in the game. So, you know, if you want to play the game, I highly recommend doing it before you watch the podcast. But then come back to us afterwards, please, because I have a lot of insight to give to you about these monsters. I love this game.
You have noticed.
Mm-hmm.
You rarely geek out that much about the.
Okay, we all have those things.
Yeah, I made 3 different people play this game in the past, like, 3 months. So, you could say I'm a bit of a connoisseur of the Spooky's jump scares. So Spooky's Jumpscare Mansion, the premise is this. There is a mansion on a hill that nobody has gone into and returned from. And you just want to go in and explore the mansion. And that's the basic plot of the game.
Like any rational person.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a reason. I think you're an archaeologist or something.
That's the reason you enter this creep. That's the reason you enter this fucking creep show.
Yeah. He just wants to explore the mansion because nobody else has explored the mansion. It's unexplored. At least, kind of. No one alive has explored it. So, the first thing you're greeted to in the mansion, I should have pulled up this picture before, I'm very sorry. Spooky's... Nope. Spooky's jumps... Wow, I'm like jittery right now. Spooky. Yeah, so this is the first thing you see when you get into the game, is you see Spooky herself. This little cute girl who is a ghost. She's, I want to say, like 7 years old, 8 years old, something like that.
She's cute.
Yeah, she's cute. Don't call her that though, by the way, because otherwise she'll rain hell on you. But she is the first thing you see when you enter the mansion, and she basically explains to you, if you want to get through the mansion, you have to get through 1,000 rooms, which is a daunting task for, like, someone just going into a horror game. And there's also 2 DLCs. We'll get to them. I'll tell you when they start. And we'll probably talk about the ending before we talk about the DLC, even though the DLC technically comes before the ending, just so you know. So, starting off, you go through the rooms until you encounter the first specimen. In this game, every enemy is called a specimen. That is, I believe any enemy that can hurt you except for one is called a specimen. And this is the first specimen. It is a cardboard cutout.
I don't know why they're called specimens. Is there a specific reason why?
So not really a spoiler, but I will say that this is a little explanation, is that Spooky is trying to gather an army of ghosts. And in order to do that, she is using the specimens to kill people for her.
Oh.
So every specimen you'll see has a total fatalities, and they're basically ranked by their quote-unquote effectiveness based on how many kills they have.
Wait, the cardboard cutout killed people?
Yes, 4 people through heart attacks.
Wow.
It is worth mentioning that this is directly from the wiki, the gameplay. Specimen 1 springs out from the wall at random times, accompanied by a loud noise. That's pretty much the only gameplay of Specimen 1. And it's literally there to lure you into a false sense of security in the early game, and to annoy you in the late game and become an obstacle. So the way that Spookies works is you enter a doorway, and your stamina is refilled, and your goal, outside of a couple of rooms, is to just get to the exit of that room. Along the way, you're chased by specimens, or monsters, or dolls. And Specimen 1 is one of the few instances where they can appear during every chase, except for, I think, 1. They're little, harmless. There is a secret Easter egg, though. I'll look to see if it's in the gallery. Yeah, you can see in the gallery here all of the pictures. I'm not going to zoom in on every single one, but you can see they're all a little cute. There's like a little slime thing. There's a ghost. There's a skeleton.
And there's a scary one at the bottom.
And there's 2 scary ones. There's a zombie head. And I'm actually not sure where this one comes from. I've never seen it before. But it's worth mentioning, I have played the game. I have gotten all of the endings, but I have not beaten Endless Mode. And we are going to talk about Endless Mode. Basically, it's just Spookies with none of the story, infinite amount of rooms, go through the rooms, and just try to survive as long as you can. It is fucking hard, though. So this might be something from Endless Mode.
Wait, there's an ending to Endless Mode?
No, there is no ending. It's just extremely fucking hard, because multiple specimens can chase you at the same time.
Oh.
Whereas in the game, you're only chased by 1 specimen at a time.
That what makes it hard.
Yes, extremely. And as you can see here, really quick, this is how many enemies there are in the game. We will be talking about all 13 specimens first, and then the Calamari Hospital, and then Spookies, and then the Endless Mode specimens, I believe. And then also the minor enemies, because those are very important to the game. You also see there is Endless Mode variants here of this. There's a ton of these. Some of these are cute, some of these are more scary, as you see by these ones. We'll get to more references later. And there's also Petey the Pepper, which is a reference to Hot Pepper Gaming, and a soda, which is a one of a unique kind variant where it actually cannot be killed. So really quick, in this game, at some point, you do get an axe. In the DLC, you get a sword, and I think that's it. Yeah, you get an axe and a sword. And you're allowed to hit the specimens if you want to get the bad ending. But you have to chop, I want to say, 1,000 specimen 1s in order to get the bad ending. It accumulates with other specimens that you hit, but specimen 1 specifically, you are allowed to cut. And they are cut in half, and half of it falls to the ground. There is no jump scare to it or anything. That is pretty much everything to know about Specimen 1. Before I go on to the trivia really quick, do you guys have any questions about Specimen 1? Or the gameplay itself?
I like how he's built, how they made it, like I said before we went live, like that thing is just there to be like, hey, this is a fun little
Yeah.
childy woohoo type of game, but no, it's not.
Yeah, it's very dark. By the way, when we get to the ending, I'm not gonna put a warning up, but just so you know now, when I start talking about spoilers for the main game's ending, it will be very dark.
Okay, everyone watching, dark warning.
Yeah, here's your content warning now. I'm not gonna like say too many specifics, but I will give a general overview of what one of the end boss is based on, and that is very dark. But okay, you guys don't have any questions about Specimen 1 or the gameplay, right?
No.
Karma, you're good? Karma.
Karma,
He's not in
is you
here.
dead?
He's not in Discord.
What? Karma, what are you doing?
Karma.
Karma abandoned us.
Yeah, he abandoned us.
He's still watching the stream.
Okay, well, we'll just continue without him, and when he comes back, try to say something. Because I'm gonna have my monitors are full of stuff right now. As you guys can tell by the amount of fucking tabs I have open.
Yeah, well, you can't be defected at
Yeah,
tabs,
no.
on the tabs.
Everyone in the fucking server we're in is insane with the amount of tabs they have open. But either way, Specimen 1 fun facts. So Specimen 1 is not actually a reference to anything, though some of these are references to specific things, I think. Like, Specimen 12, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but it has to be a reference to something, I guarantee that.
If you show me Specimen 12, I might be able to help.
This one. I showed it on screen before, I'll show it again. I don't know what the fuck this is a reference to, if it's a reference to anything.
Okay, they did. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I don't know either. It has like red lipstick, sharp eyes, sunken
Maybe,
eyes. Or, I mean, sharp teeth, sunken eyes with little red dots. It kind of reminds me of one of the specimens, but not at the same time.
The sunken eyes remind me of Five Nights at Freddy's.
Which we will be getting to later.
Oh wait, there are references to that game?
Yes, there is one specific enemy that is a reference. It is considered the worst enemy in the game, and it is a joke enemy, but we'll get to him. So,
Oh God,
Specimen 1 is completely harmless, and Specimen 1 is made out of 100% recycled cardboard.
Wow.
Yeah. Also,
What a kind-hearted ghost.
throughout the game, you will find notes, and some of the notes you can find are in, like, they are on Specimen 1. And it also says here, it is implied through notes left by Spooky in Endless Mode that she created Specimen 1. So Specimen 1 isn't like a living entity, there's nothing eldritch about it, it's just a little girl trying to scare you, basically. Which is relevant, we'll get back to that later, don't worry. Trust me. That's important.
Lore-wise, why does Spooky want to raise an army?
So so you learn this in one of the endings of the game, and she gives a long speech, basically saying that she doesn't want to be called, like, she's speaking about all ghosts, and she says, we will be called cute and adorable no more. We will raid Earth, and we will make them see us as scary. And, spoilers territory that I'm not going to talk about yet, but there is another reason why. But the ending I was just referring to is considered one of the joke endings, though, just so you're aware.
I could tell that much. I don't want to be cute.
Basically, yeah. I don't want to be called cute, so I will march on Earth and take over by war.
I don't want to be cute, so I'm gonna murder everyone.
Yeah. So let's move on to Specimen 2 now. So Specimen 1, by the way, can be found throughout the entire game, floors 1 to 999.
Yeah, I figured it was like the most common specimen.
Specimen 2 is finally the first scary specimen.
Everyone has seen that face somewhere. That's this very generic monster for.
It is based on something. I'll get to that in a moment. This is called Gel, as you can see. It's the first hostile enemy, and it appears in room 60, and can appear throughout the rest of the game after you find the specimen.
Okay, so it appears at random.
Yes, it appears at random.
Oh, that makes it so much worse.
And you guys can see here what it looks like in... So, I should really quick explain. There's two different versions of Spooky's Jumpscare Mansion. There's Spooky's Jumpscare Mansion, which you can download and play for free on Steam. And then there is HD Renovation, which is, I want to say, $10, and is also on console. HD Renovation comes with the DLCs, and has improved graphics, and instead of running on, I don't remember what archaic system the first game runs on, but it runs on Unity instead. Which means that in HD Renovation, all of the monsters are 3D instead of 2D. And this is what the specimen looks like in HD Renovation. If you ask me, it's a downgrade, but trust me, some of these are very much needed upgrades.
Really?
Yes. At the same time, Dollhouse, the default 2D version is a lot better than the 3D version. So we'll get to that as well.
Yeah, just looking at the 2D version, it looks so much more detailed.
Yeah, the 2D version has a lot more detail. You can see actually like the gel, it looks like he's missing his arm, he twitches. The 3D version, you can't really tell he's like missing part of his body. You can tell he's missing his arm, but it looks a little different.
You know what this is making me think about? How in VTubing some often 2D models are a lot more detailed than 3D models.
Yeah, you can get a lot more detail when you don't have to worry about the 3D element, the third dimension. But he has no legs and feet. I'm not sure if it's a guy or a girl. I've been calling him he because that's just what I do. But it isn't
have
it.
boobs. It's a he.
No comment. Specimen 2 first appears in room 60 after the player reads a note on a table. So a lot of specimens follow this, where you have to read a note in order to activate them, or you have to do something in order to activate them, and they all have rooms specifically made for the specimen. Specimen 2 is just a regular room with a note on a table. When you read it, it reads, spouting, splashing, soaking, innards, ingest, invoking, nailing, never stops the choking. After you read the note, a loud choking sound can be heard behind you, and Specimen 2 will emerge from the door the player has entered. So, Specimen 2 is basically chasing you while leaving puddles of goop on the ground and flying. Flying is relevant because there are some rooms where they are allowed to fly over, where there's no walls. And the goo that it lays on the ground slightly lowers the player's movement speed. When you die to Specimen 2, it reads the message, I know what you have done, and what you have yet to do. But it's alright, because I'm inside you now. We are one, but I am many. Basically implying that the green slime has gone inside of your body and is using you like a puppet. So, Specimen 2 is a reference to Lub Glub from the TV series Adventure Time. And here's what a Lub Glub looks like. So you can see the similarities with the green and black, and then the teeth. The Lub Glubs take multiple forms, though, as you can see, but this one only has one form. Specimen 2, Gel, only has one form. So, do you have any comments about Gel, or questions?
Not really.
You can see that he has a total of 137 fatalities, and his method is physical tearing.
Oh, so he just tears you apart?
He tears apart people and tries to use them like a puppet, but it doesn't stay on very long because, you know, decaying skin and all that. Which is very Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes.
This came out before that game, though.
Especially, this makes me think of Springtrap.
I was actually referring to FNAF 6 Sister Location. There is literally an animatronic that scoops out your insides and uses your skin like a puppet suit.
Oh. I was thinking of Springtrap because if you know FNAF lore, you know that Springtrap was you know Purple Guy if you know FNAF lore. And Springtrap was created when Purple Guy entered an all animatronic suit, which basically tore the guy apart and used the body as an exoskeleton.
Yeah, something like that. He actually was alive for like a really long time, and I'm pretty sure it's said that he is actually Springtrap. Like, he's not an animatronic, like a soul inhabiting a body. He's literally just alive.
Yeah.
So, that was Specimen 2, aka Gel, the first hostile enemy. And I would say if you want to play the game, now is a good time to dip out and go buy the game. I highly recommend you at least play the free version if you guys have time. It does not come with a DLC, and you're gonna see some bad enemies. Especially, I think it's Specimen 11 has a lot of changes between the old version and the new version of the game. But if you have the $10 to spare, I highly recommend that as well.
You know what I noticed about 11? His always looks like Loki's helmet.
11 was not the one I was referring to then, but yes. It's actually a reference to a Marvel character, if you know, what's his name? Oh my god, I'm blanking on his name. Hellboy. That's his name.
Hellboy is not a Marvel character.
Yeah, he is. Oh no, he's DC. Wait, no, is he Image Comics? Wait, what is... Now I'm not sure. I thought he was fucking Marvel, because he was part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
He's Dark Horse Comics.
Oh, Dark Horse. I knew Dark Horse. I don't know. I don't know why I didn't. Either way.
Actually, the other thing I had in my notes was he looks like Loki's helmet or like Hellboy's fully grown horns.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's a reference to, is Hellboy's fully grown horns. Okay. Let's move on to Specimen 3. Arachnophobia warning. Specimen 3, aka Subject 5, aka Giant Centipede. More of a spider than a centipede. So here's one of the enemies that got a huge improvement from HD renovation. This is what it looks like in the base game, as you can see. Not particularly good looking, you could say. You could see, like, the blood on it, though, and the mouth is doing something. And here's what it looks like in HD renovation. Yes, the mouth doesn't move in the first game. It's like a 2D image as a face. In this game, all of the teeth move as it moves around. And also, instead of having, like, blood, it is just a black and red body.
This is weird not having karma here.
Yeah, it is. It also has 10 parts of its body instead of 4, as it says. So, Specimen 3, you guys can see Specimen 3. It appears on room 120. And it's basically just a spider that crawls out of holes in the ceiling and bites you. It has 43 fatalities, and it kills you via infectious bites.
Nice, I want to hug it now.
The specimen room that it is kept in is called GL Labs. And in GL Labs, they were basically trying to create homunculuses. And Subject 5 had escaped and started killing people. When the scientists of GL Labs tried to contact Spooky, Spooky just laughed and floated away through the ceiling. Clearly, she just wanted people to die. The GL lab scientists didn't know that at the time. Obviously, now they're all dead. So, you know.
Yeah, they.
Oh, I
The
forgot
person
to
that did-
mention, also, when you hit Specimen 2 with an axe, it slows down and becomes a puddle for a few seconds.
It just melts.
Yes. Specimen 3, the one we're talking about right now, the axe will stun it for a few seconds. I believe, actually, in HD Renovation, does it say? It doesn't say. But I believe it turns around and walks away if you hit it with the axe.
They just cured it.
Yeah, there it goes. Upon damaging the player, or in parentheses, being hit with the axe or sword, it crawls away, scuttles around in a circle, and then resumes the chase. So yeah. Also, this death screen is special. It does not have a note before its death. Basically, the note I mentioned was Spooky laughing at the scientists and floating through the ceiling. That was the note to activate the specimen. And when you die to the specimen, it actually has a really cool death animation where one of the spiders comes down from the ceiling, or one of the specimens, Specimen 3, comes down from the ceiling and crawls up into your face. And then another one comes out from behind the wall. And then another one comes from the ceiling. And then you see, once in a land of dreams, I thought I could be free, but now the hunger never sleeps.
So they're just gonna eat you.
And then they eat you.
Fun.
So, any questions or comments about Specimen 3 before we talk about what it's a reference to?
Not really.
Okay.
Not a real centipede, there's not enough lay eggs.
Disgusting. Specimen 3 is inspired by the game Resident Evil.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's a reference to the fact that Resident Evil has a lot of giant bugs. So the creator wanted to put a giant bug in his game, and this was what he decided on, was a giant spider/centipede monster.
Read what spit fruit.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it, I just ignored it. Also, I put the chat box up, so now when you type something, it'll actually show up on stream. My apologies. So that was Specimen 3. Specimen 4 is my favorite specimen. Specimen 4, aka Ringu. She appears on floor 166. And it doesn't say it here for some reason, but it should say aka Vor Mommy, because she is Vor Mommy.
She looks like a child, how can she be mommy?
She's a mother, first of all. How dare you?
Wait, that thing had a kid?
Yes, multiple.
Who are they?
Uh,
Wait, and why Vor Mommy? Explain yourself.
you will be explained shortly, do not worry. First thing you need to know is that this is what she looks like in the main game. Here is what she looks like in HD Renovation.
I prefer HD Renovation.
Yep. This is what she looks like in Endless Mode.
Still prefer HD version.
And this is what she looks like in Endless Mode once you reach 1,000 floors. It is notably missing the animation of her twitching around, though, violently. So that is something worth noting. I believe it does show it here, yeah. You see that she's floating in the original game. I don't know why the wiki doesn't have GIFs for HD Renovation, but it does for the old game. But this is what she looks like, basically, in HD Renovation, animated.
Oh.
So, let's talk about Vor Mommy. Vor Mommy, aka Ringu, is a spirit. She has 85 total fatalities, and her method of death is consumption. Do you see why I call her Vor Mommy now?
Yes.
So, here's how Specimen 4's chase works. Really quick. Specimen 4's chase is she flies through walls, and she creates a fog. That's it. She's a very simple monster, but all of the fun comes from her in Endless mode, where she obviously gets really bloody and cool. It's also worth noting that when she gets closer to you, her jaw unhinges and gets wider before she bites you.
Can we see a clip of that?
No. Because I don't have one ready. Maybe in the gallery. No. No.
Isn't that the GIF?
No. This looks right. So this is her in her second form in the original game. Here is her in her third form. And here is her close to... I don't know why her mouth is closed. Yeah, I don't know. But she opens her mouth when she gets closer to you, though. That's all I can say. She also does have a unique death, just like everyone else, which is probably the best death in the game. I can actually just show you from the gallery. This is what it looks like. You see her bite you like this, and then it shows this picture. And it is accompanied by the words, "Hush now, my child. You're safe now." So, yeah. It is also worth mentioning that she appears to be some sort of teacher, as when you encounter her, her specimen room is of a school, specifically a Japanese school.
So she ate her student then.
Yes, that is what you're supposed to conclude from this, is that she eats her students to keep them safe. And apparently she's also called a mother at some point. I don't have the note that says it, but she's just called a mother, so she's a mother.
Who's sick enough to fuck that?
Presumably she had children before she became a spirit.
Gotcha.
Also...
I mean, you know...
Go ahead.
You know there's someone out there who's into her.
Oh yeah, totally. Me. So... Specimen 4 is a homage to Japanese RPGs. More specifically, I'm gonna butcher this, Sachiko? From a popular horror series called Corpse Party. Another reference is that she is number 4, which is basically a very, what's the word?
A number avoided in Japan? Curse?
Yeah, it's a number avoided in Japan because it sounds like the word death. 4 and 4. I don't know the difference, but one of them means death and one of them is the number 4. It is just a coincidence, however. Apparently he's gone on record saying that it's just a coincidence, so, you know. It's also worth...
Because
what?
4 in Japanese is she. Oh, that's the one I learned.
Yes.
And the die is shine. Shie sama.
Yeah. It's also worth mentioning that I forgot to mention earlier. Every specimen does have its own chase theme, and Specimen 4 is a fucking banger. I can't show it, or we can't listen to it on stream, but I highly recommend you go and find a way to listen to Specimen 4's chase music, because it is really good.
That good?
It's that good, yeah. I mean, for a horror game, for a chase music theme, it's really good.
Dude,
So, any questions or comments about Subject 4, aka Vor Mommy?
No, but should we worry about karma?
Nah, he's fine. He hasn't said anything in any of our chats, so I don't know what to do about him.
Like, did he crash or something?
I don't know. I don't have a way to, text him or anything, so... I'm just assuming his internet went out. We're 40 minutes in, and we're not even close to done with the base game. So I'm going to speed things up. Specimen 5, aka Bab, is also a mother. She is first encountered on floor 210, and she is an homage to Silent Hill, a mixture of the nurses from Silent Hill 2 and Pyramid Head, also from Silent Hill 2. It says she is a mannequin. Her total fatalities is 168 ? Her method of killing is unknown. But she does have a gigantic, piece of fucking metal for an arm, like a sword. So,
I think we can figure it out.
Yeah.
Let me
This is
just
her in
slap
HD renovation. She noticeably does not have a left hand. But she's supposed to look like a mannequin mixed with, like, rust and metal. Because, again, Silent Hill. Sorry, I was scratching my face. Her death screen is tiny, shining holes in the sky, delicate, perfect emptiness, black, growing absences of life, cold, swarming death, and we shall become them. So yeah. Basically, she is the leader of a cult. It says right here, in room 210, it is revealed that the cult allegedly burned a girl as a sacrifice to appease the darkness, without knowing she was impure. This closely resembles a similar event carried out by the Order in the Silent Hill games. It's also worth mentioning that it was a child, and Specimen 5 doesn't like that. So,
I can understand why.
any questions or comments about Specimen 5, aka Bab, aka Mother?
Specimen 5 was trying to be gay. Some people were trying to appease Specimen 5 by burning someone.
Yes.
But it corrupted her?
It just made her kill everyone. Like, she just wasn't happy about it.
Fair enough.
Her gameplay chase is that she chases you down and changes the textures of the room into different textures. Either a red moving static or something else. Specimen 6. Take a wild fucking guess what it's based off of. It's a puppet, aka Ben.
Wow.
He's based off of Ben Drowned and the Happy Mask Salesman. There's not a lot to talk about this one. He has a backstory where basically he created dolls in this village. The children loved the dolls. The village people were angry at him when some of the children went missing, so they threw all of his dolls in the river. Ben jumped in to save his dolls and ended up drowning. Later on, the children were lured away from their homes to the river and then never seen again. But there was occasionally dolls that looked like the missing children.
But why were they mad at him?
I don't remember the exact reasoning, but I think it's because, they thought that he was abducting children.
Why?
Because he's a creepy guy who moved into the village right before the disappearances started, and he makes children's dolls. Either way, Specimen 6 is species puppet. Total fatalities 189. Method is physical punctures. He uses a little needle, as you can see here in his art, to stab the eyes of anyone who incurs his wrath. And here is his 3D model, which looks very similar to his regular model. His gameplay loop is the longer you have to look at him for him to not teleport behind you and stab you. But if you look at him for more than, I think it's 10 seconds, he teleports to you anyway and stabs you. If you hit him with the axe, you completely disable him for the room. And his death animation... Can we show his death animation? Is it in the gallery? This is in the gallery. You can get a pretty good imagination. He slowly lowers the needle down right before it hits the eye, and then it says, this. To become a puppet is to rid oneself of the pain and harshness of choice. Now nothing you do is your fault. Now you belong to something. You belong to me. We already mentioned he is a reference to the Happy Mask Salesman and Ben Drowned. How do you survive him if you get stabbed either way? The trick is to look at him for about 5 seconds, look away, and then look back at him really quickly. And you can look at him through walls, kind of. Like, you can't see him, but he knows when you're looking in his direction. So, Monkey, any comments or concerns or questions?
I almost said that he kind of felt like the Weeping Angels from Doctor Who, but then you said that he teleports to you after 10 seconds, which wouldn't make sense. Or SCP-173.
Yes, he is that same mechanic. The reason he teleports, by the way, is because he is a mannequin on strings, and he goes up into the ceiling and appears right behind you and attempts to stab you. But he does also move whenever you don't look at him, and you can see all of his different stances here in this GIF. Whenever you look at him, he'll have one of these stances.
I like how one of the faces is aggressive.
Mm-hmm. Because he's about to stab you. He's gonna get you.
He's
I
gonna get ya.
like how one of them is like him trying to hide the needle behind his back. Like, it wasn't me.
I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I'm innocent.
Oh, there's a better version of him, because you don't have to see it in a GIF. The first two look very similar, except that his head is moved. The third one, he's hiding the needle, and the fourth one, he's about to get you.
He's about to murder you.
Yeah. Specimen 7. Okay, this one is a lot. Also, Monkey, I fully apologize. I don't think we're gonna have time to talk about the DLCs today. I don't know if you should be happy or sad about that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a part 2 for this.
I would love to.
We're gonna have to, because this is a fucking huge game, apparently.
It is fucking fantastic. But now we get to talk about the weirdest SCP. I mean, fuck, I called it SCP. The weirdest specimen, which is Specimen 7. Specimen 7 does not have a name. Let me see if it's in the gallery. It is not. Let me see really quick if I can... Yep, there it is. The white cat. So, Specimen 7, you're introduced to this white cat. It does not have a name. It is simply known as the white cat. You encounter it in room 410, and you encounter Specimen 7 in room 411. Specimen 7, it literally says it right here, is a large moving red and black wall of distorted corpses. Its reference is to Gigas from Earthbound, I believe is the name of the game?
Gigas.
Yes. Gigas, whatever. This one's a little hard to explain. So basically, when you enter the room... Oh, I should explain White Cat first, because it makes more sense. So White Cat is a reference to Jungian psychology. Basically, when you first meet the cat and the last time you meet the cat, they're talking about how in order to continue on through the mansion, you need to, like, face your fears, basically. And the cat, along with Jungian psychology, basically, they believe that you can turn your past experiences into a physical being. And that is Specimen 7, is the physical being. There's a lot of things going on here for Jungian psychology. Like, Balance is the key to keeping your mind free and sane. Put your mask on, be who you are to others, be part of something, become more than yourself, follow the group. The mask you wear serves its purpose well, but be careful not to lose yourself in it. Knowing your shadow can greatly help you, but be ready to see what you'd rather not see. Like, it's fucking weird. But
Sounds weird.
Specimen 7 is only in one room in the game, and you can only encounter Specimen 7 in this specific room. It is a long maze-like room with these things on the wall that you see here in the imagery. The evil face, the black rune, the red rune, and the quote-unquote legs. And this is what the specimen looks like in HD renovation, is it just slowly moves towards you. And here's what it looks like in the normal game. Again, it just slowly moves towards you. And you have to find your way out of the room. There's not a lot to talk about, except it is worth mentioning that the cat mentions, there's a room in the game called Cat DOS, which has information about all of the specimens. And this specimen specifically mentions that it is constantly changing form and attributes depending on the subject's personality, but most common form resembles a wall of moving anatomy symbols, only effective on subjects with past trauma or a history of psychological issues. Which is very important to note. That means that our character either has past trauma or a history of psychological issues, which will come up later. Especially in the second DLC, Dollhouse, you will see the trauma that they specifically have. So, any more questions about Specimen 7, or any comments? Oh, also, Fatality's 93.
So he's basically designed to make you panic.
Yes. Well, the thing is, you want to stop and stare at things like this evil face on the wall that moves, but if you stop and stare, the monster will catch up to you silently. It's made to just make you panic. And like I said, it's a reference to Gygus' final form from Earthbound.
Is a sound file?
Oh yeah, there's sound files for all of them, I guess. Let's hear it real quick. Hang on, let me... where is it? Okay, now that I know you can do that, I'm gonna go listen to number 4's theme. Yes, we have it. We have it. Are you ready, guys, for Breakfast Was Too Late? This is the best chase theme in the game. And then you enter a doorway and it stops.
It makes you just like want to stop and listen to because you loved his song so much.
Yeah, exactly. And then Specimen 4 will kill you.
Just keep getting better and better.
I love Specimen 4. Either way.
I can tell.
Any other comments or questions about Specimen 7 before we move on?
No.
Okay.
Oh, epilepsy warning on this one apparently.
Who said that?
No, top of the article.
Oh, epilepsy warning. Oh yeah, on the gallery, which we may or may not show, there is an epilepsy warning. Specimen 8, aka Dear Lord, has the most lore out of every specimen, actually. It is first encountered in room 558. This is when you get the axe, which also comes up in another specimen's room. They mention that they also found a weapon in the forest. You can see, obviously, what Specimen 8 here looks like, Dear Lord. And here is their second form when they get closer to the player. Notably, I don't think it was inspiration, but they do remind me of Nito from Dark Souls.
It can remind me of a legend from The Witcher.
Yeah. The actual reference is Wendigo folklore.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Mm-hmm. And this is what they look like in HD renovation with their cloak closed and their cloak open. Again, very similar, not a lot of difference on this one. I would say, actually, the HD renovation, when you see it, though, it does look pretty cool. So, Specimen 8's room, when you first encounter them, is a forest filled with cabins with violent deer. We will talk about later if we get time to talk about minor enemies. Basically, they are cannibalistic deer that eat people's flesh as well. And when you come close to them, they try to eat you.
Oh.
Deer Lord is basically, if you hurt any of the deer or anger them in any way, then that's when Deer Lord shows up. It's worth mentioning that Deer Lord has 149 fatalities. Its method is absorption, and it has a very unique death screen, where it teleports you into a red forest, and you have to basically walk into its opening cloak, and there's nothing you can do about it. You have to walk into the SC specimen. I really want to call them SCPs, apparently. You have to walk inside of it, and then he closes the cloak, and then that's the death screen. And I saw from eyes that were not mine, and I felt with a fear I could not reason. They watch us, they invite us, and they keep us happy, committing treason to a king we didn't deserve, to a son who waits weeping, that I know from knowledge gained while sleeping. So, Specimen 8 is a little interesting. Like I said, he has the most lore out of every SCP. God damn it, I said it again. Out of every specimen. Because he actually appears in the creator's other games, including his game Lost in Vivo. It's also, yeah, there it is, Lost in Vivo. It is actually called Baya Golthoth's Child. I don't know. It also is inspired from The Beast, from the 2014 cartoon Over the Garden Wall. And, you can see here, basically its death screen is a reference to Bambi. It's also worth mentioning, this is, I believe, the first specimen that speaks to you while it chases you. It says, "Join us. Why do you run, child? Your submission is inevitable. Your flesh will sustain my children." And it keeps repeating these ad nauseum. So, any questions or comments about Specimen 8?
I'm gonna have to go watch some Corona clips before going to bed tonight.
Why, is it too scary?
No, I am a deep I'm deep into the SCP files and SCP stuff.
Hmm.
But for some reason, some of those are scarier than many of the SCPs I've seen.
Oh yeah, a lot of SCP. Whoa, I almost dropped my phone. A lot of the SCPs honestly suck. That's why it's kind of hard. Like, there's so many of them. There's a lot of duds. In this
There
game,
are
I would say almost every enemy is a banger except for like 3 of them.
I have seen like some like there are some hidden pearls of SCPs that are fucking scary.
Oh yeah, totally. Like I said, my favorite one, like, one of my favorite SCPs, we'll talk about it more in the SCP episode, is literally just a fucking bowl of candy that takes your hands. Like, it's not scary, though. So, that was Specimen 8. We're gonna go straight to Specimen 10, because, spoilers, I'm gonna put up spoiler really quick while I say this. Specimen 9 is the final boss of the game, so I don't want to spoil him. Okay, so, excuse me, Specimen 10. You see this fucking piece of garbage, right?
It's disgustingly ugly.
Yes. Look, this is what it used to look like.
Please tell me it got better.
So this is what it looks like in HD renovation. Is it better?
No.
This is what it looks like with its mouth open. Is that better?
No.
And this is what it looks like when you get too far away from it.
Explain to me how that makes sense.
So, real quick, this is what it looks like in the old versions. You guys can see what it looks like. I actually think this version looks pretty good in the old version. Besides that, they look very similar. Except for the fact that this is the old Specimen 10, aka Worm Eel. So, here's a little thingy-majig. No one liked this SCP. I mean, fucking Specimen. Nobody liked this Specimen in the entire game.
Why?
So, because it was fucking awful. It's a giant worm. It had no real texture to it, and its gameplay was literally just, it was fast. That was its gameplay. It was shit. Actually, it was slow, I'm sorry. It wasn't fast, it was slow. So there was no reason for it to ever fucking exist. So, they decided, the creator of the game, and I assume the team working with, decided, let's create Specimen 10, aka Parasite, which is a reference to John Carpenter's The Thing and the necromorphs from Dead Space. And let's have it kill the old Specimen 10. So when you first meet Specimen 10, you're actually greeted with the head of Specimen 10. There it is. So this is all you see when you first encounter it out of event. And then this happens to its head, and then the actual Specimen 10 starts to chase you. I would say, by the way, Specimen 10 is the worst gameplay out of every Specimen. It's a much needed difficulty, but it fucking sucks.
Why?
So basically, Specimen 10, so you see that there's 3 phases. Technically 2 forms. So when its mouth is closed, you're too far away from it. When its mouth is open, you're too close to it. And when it's in second form, this little worm thing, you're really too far away from it. There was recently an update in Halloween. There was a Halloween 2021 update that actually changed the gameplay significantly. In the fact that in the old versions of the game, if you activated second form by getting too far away from the specimen, it would chase you infinitely. That was changed so that it only hits you once and doesn't hit you a second time. Basically, what you have to do is you have to slowly walk with the specimen as to keep him within, I don't know the exact distance, we'll say like 10 meters of you.
Why?
Because if you
seems
get
like
too
shit.
far away, it becomes this little worm thing, and you can't outrun the little worm thing. It's faster than you, even sprinting. So, yeah. It has 245 fatalities, and its method is parasitic infections. Basically making more of itself, aka John Carpenter's The Thing.
So it's a facehugger. It's any generic alien parasite.
Yeah, pretty much. When you're killed by Specimen 10, you will see, now you have nothing to fear. Now you have nothing to think. Follow your selfish desires. Follow your natural instinct. After all, you're just an animal. It's much easier than trying to think. As well as, this fucking Morse code, binary code, which translates to, you are more than just an animal, use the soul you've been given, and be responsible for your actions. So, Specimen 10, gameplay, like lore-wise, takes over your mind and turns you into an animal. The creator of the game is the binary code, basically saying you're not a fucking animal, like, have responsibility for your actions. If that makes sense?
Yep.
As I mentioned, John Carpenter's The Thing and Dead Space Necromorphs. I don't think Old Specimen 10 was based on anything. Yeah, it's not based on anything. It was a completely original creation, and it fucking sucked. Any questions or comments?
Did people ever? What would happen if you were killed by the old specimen 10?
What do you mean?
If you were
Oh,
killed by
the old Specimen 10
what would
didn't have a
happen?
death screen. It was just the
It was-
generic death screen.
You were just really shitty then.
Yeah, no one liked it, even the creator, like I said. It wasn't fully developed because they abandoned it before they fully made it. And I'm trying to not show that at the bottom of the screen. I apologize for anyone with epilepsy. But yeah. Okay, let's move on to Specimen 11. Specimen 11... Alright, listen. I used the term joke specimen lightly, but this is a joke specimen. It's called the Food Demon. You encounter it in room 710, and basically its whole gimmick is like, I don't even know how to describe it. You eat meat and then become hypnotized to eat more meat. Yeah, I think that actually describes it pretty well.
What the fuck?
So, this one's a... Okay, so, like... You know how most of the time I mentioned that the specimens have starting rooms or specimen rooms? Specimen 11's is literally a fucking fast food restaurant. And in case you didn't realize, Spooky's Jumpscare Mansion takes place underground. And this place is 710 floors underground. And it's a fast food restaurant.
That's deep to go for a burger.
That's very deep to go for a burger. And it has employees. The notes...
Wait. That thing has employees.
Not this thing, the restaurant has employees.
Oh, okay.
The Food Demon, I don't I honest to God don't know if the food demon created the restaurant or what. It doesn't have a lot of lore, I don't think. But, yeah, it's interesting. This is what it looks like in HD renovation, by the way. It did get a little bit of a boost there. It does look better in HD renovation for sure. You can actually see the bloody claws and how they're made of bone, where in the original, I think they were just red. Oh no, they were bones, but you couldn't really tell they were bones. They look like they're just fries. And you also get this giant glowing halo of fire.
Oh, wait, he's in Spooky's dollhouse.
He is, and we'll talk about that when we get to Spooky's dollhouse, probably next time we talk about this game. So Specimen 11 has 317 fatalities. Method is unknown, and it is a demon. Its chase is that it chases you, it floats, and it makes the door disappear.
Oh.
So you don't know where the exit door is, but you can still interact with it. It's just invisible.
You just have to follow the walls and you find it.
Yeah, pretty much. A lot of the room layouts are similar, so you can guess where the room is. Specifically, though, it's a problem in Spooky's dollhouse, because Spooky's dollhouse uses separate room layouts that are brand new. So... when you die to Specimen 11, let me clear my throat. I mean, yawn. I mean, something. Okay. With every bite, with every bite, with bone and skin, the temple groaned and shook again. His dwelling place did I neglect, to the end with bad effect. He has binary code. This translates to believe in God, but question the teachings of men. I don't know if it's the specimen talking, but I think it's the specimen talking when it says to believe in God, because he is a demon, and he wants you to believe in him, I think.
That is an interesting theory.
I'm not sure. It's a little weird. So what do you?
It's just a little weird.
Yes, a little. So here's the thing. What do you think Specimen 11 is based off of besides Hellboy?
No, Ronald McDonald?
No. It's based on... let me look here. Specimen 11 and its rooms were taken from a level in Little Big Planet that the creator made called 100% Beef Corp.
Wait, so he's from Little Big Planet?
It's a custom creation from Little Big Planet.
Seems dark for the Little Big Planet.
Any questions or comments about Specimen 11?
He looks like low-key fused with Gollum.
I guess you could say that.
That's the first thing I get from the older version. He looks like Loki had a child with Gollum.
Yep. Okay, Specimen 12. One of the more interesting specimens. Have you ever heard of the game called... Let me double check the name so I don't get it wrong. Clock Tower.
No.
Okay, it is a reference to the game Clock Tower, and the other specimen in it is a reference to Scissorman, the antagonist of Clock Tower. So Specimen 12 is a mansion inside of a mansion that you discover in room 810. It is said to be like... It's basically when you touch something in the mansion, you can tell that it's painted, including the brick walls, including the wine cellar, including all the books. They're all just paint. And when you go into the basement, you can actually see... yeah, of course they don't show the basement in the images, but... it's basically like Silent Hill, like everything is rusty and dusty. So this is Specimen 12, the mansion. But we also have the old man. Now, the old man... So here's an interesting little thing. The old man is actually a survivor who you've been reading the notes of this entire time in story mode. It basically... The way it pans out is that you have to hide from him until he leaves the room. And you have to do this 4 times, or 5 times, I think. Every time a new door opens in the mansion. And you're also...
Kill you?
He is trying to kill you if you do not hide from him.
Why? He's a survivor.
I'll tell you in 1 second. That's because he thinks you're the monster. The specimen. So you read notes basically saying, I found this mansion. This mansion is really scary. I don't know what's going on in the mansion. I hear someone walking around, though. I'm, like, scared of them. I'm gonna hide. And then he ends up doing the same things that you do as the player. But then he mentions, I found a scythe. Or a sickle. I found this giant sickle in the forest. I'm gonna use it to try and kill the guy. So basically what's happening is the mansion is possessing people and turning them into a killer. And every time the survivor kills the killer, they become the killer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It corrupts them.
Yeah. And this is what the old man looks like in HD renovation. Can we get closer? Yeah, you could see he looks really fucking weird.
Looks like Japanese almost.
He
Asian.
might be. I have no idea.
He looks Asian.
Yes. It's also worth mentioning that in the not HD renovation, but the old game, I mean, he's voiced by Vernon Shaw of what is it called? Pepper Gaming? Hot Pepper Gaming. Yeah. He's also a reference to the popular Adult Swim short, Too Many Cooks. By the way, if you've never seen it, that's a fucking great short. You should definitely go watch it. And, yeah, any questions about, Old Man? Or the mansion?
What was that? The red mist in the mansion?
The red mist is just part of the mansion.
What is it?
It's red mist. Presumably, it's some kind of hallucinogen. How does hiding work? Basically, when you enter the mansion, there's like... Okay, so you enter the mansion, you enter one of the rooms you need to be in, and there'll be like a note that says you need to hide, basically, or I'm gonna hide from the monster. You have to find where in the room the hide prompt comes up. You press the hide button or the interact button, and then your point of view is shifted behind like boxes or inside a cabinet or something. And you can like look while the guy is walking around in the room. And then once he leaves, you can just exit the hiding spot. Okay. Oh yeah, it's also worth mentioning, the mansion only appears once, but the old man can chase you multiple times. And yes, Spiff, it's just find the spot and you're good. Exactly. The old man is a very basic chase where he slowly approaches. If he lets out a roar, he gets a temporary speed boost, and that's it.
Does he have a kill thingy?
I believe he does. Let me see the gallery. He does. Epilepsy warning. Epilepsy warning. This is what it looks like. There is no words, though. Okay, epilepsy is over.
Are there words that he says? Or?
No, there is no words. Also, I'm gonna throw up the spoiler real quick. Spoilers. In the bad ending of the game, you actually become possessed by the mansion and become the best killer that Spooky has, and you become her #1 specimen. That is if you axe every specimen that you come across in the game, basically. You become the killer.
If you just hit every single specimen at least once?
No. There's like a point system, and the more you hit specimens, the more points you gather, and if you get enough points, you get the bad ending. Okay? No more spoilers. We're done talking spoilers, boys. So yeah. Let's move on to Specimen 13, our second to last specimen. She appears in rooms 9, 10, and onward. I believe she appears for like 50 rooms. This is what she looks like in the base game. You only see the back silhouette, but we also will see her front. She is a siren.
That was my guess.
Yep. And this is what she looks like in HD renovation. She's actually more of a mermaid than a siren, but same difference. And this is what her face looks like in her death screen. And then this is what it becomes in her death screen as well.
Magnificent.
Yes. This is the creator's artwork of the specimen when it was still in the beta phases. I just wanted to show it because booba.
Booba.
Booba. Yes. So have you played Amnesia?
I've heard about it.
Have you seen a Let's Play of it?
A while ago.
Do you remember the water monster?
No.
Okay. Basically, the exact same gameplay as Specimen 13 is in that game. Is you have to stand on boxes because the monster is invisible, or in this case under the water, and only reveals their location through splashes. So this is what it looks like when she's chasing you.
She looks like a ghost.
It's literally just water splashing. Yeah, there's not a lot to actually mention about this, except for the fact that she only appears once. Unless you're in endless mode. I think she can appear multiple times with the new update. I'm not sure, though. But in the base game, she only appears once for, like I said, either 30 to 50 rooms. I'm not sure the exact number, because it just recently changed. But, you basically only encounter her when she's underwater. Her story is that she was found by eating whales from the inside out by a bunch of whale observists that, I don't know what to call them, I just call them whale observists, but they were, like, science people, like, art anthropologists, I think? I don't know.
Whale experts.
Whale experts, yeah. They were whale experts.
Marine biologists.
Marine biologists, probably, yeah. But they were basically like, hey, why are these whales acting funny? Oh, hey, that whale just fucking got eaten from the inside out.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, here it says, Specimen 13's behavior is a reference to, gonna butcher it, Karnak, from the horror game Amnesia: The Dark Descent. And Smith asks, can you lure her away with something like Amnesia, or does she just fuck off if you stay in a box? She just fucks off. Really, like, top peak design. This is the one I would say is the worst specimen. I don't know if I said that about specimen like 9 or whatever, or specimen 8 or 10 or whatever. This one is actually the worst specimen though. Because it's the Five Nights at Freddy's one.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you want to count endless mode, I'm just talking about the main story. Either way, do you have any questions or comments about this one? Because, I mean, I got nothing else to say about her. She fucking sucks.
Booba.
Yeah, she has booba, though. It's also worth mentioning, in HD renovation, you can see that she is a mermaid. But in the old game, she's simply wearing a towel.
Where can you see that she's a mermaid on there?
Right here in this picture. You can see that her lower half is that of a fish.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I forgot to mention, she has 194 deaths, fatalities, I mean, and her method is drowning. Who would have guessed?
Not me.
Yep. So, this is the last specimen before we talk about the endings and, room 1000. I really wish Carmo's here because it sounds like he actually did, like, work for this episode, but unfortunately he's not here, so he doesn't get to talk about the greatness that is Specimen 9. So, Specimen 9, I'm just gonna throw spoilers up for this whole section. So, Specimen 9, aka Taker, is a hostile enemy and the secondary antagonist in Spooky's Jumpscare Mansion. It has 362 deaths, method is unknown, and, Monkey, did you check the, Wikipedia page I sent you?
I read the ones you sent on the podcast chat.
Yes. Unit, what was it? What was the numbers? 391? 371? I have to look, I don't remember off the top of my head. Oops, wrong chat. We talked a lot, goddammit. Yes, Unit 731. Did you read the Wikipedia article for Unit 731?
Wait, you sent that in private DMs?
No, I sent it in the podcast chat. It's a long read, so I'm gonna assume you didn't read it then. Basically, Unit 731... So, okay. Let's talk about Specimen 9's gameplay first. Specimen 9 is the final boss, but it can be, encountered before the final boss version. If you stay idle for 2 minutes in the base game, in HD renovation, I think you have to stand still for some amount of seconds. I'm not sure how many exactly. Specimen 9 will charge you and kill you. Specimen 9's kill screen simply repeats the words, "to take the dead," in all capitals. And there is also a chance to get into a special room starting at room 51 onward to room 999, where you die to Specimen 9 no matter what you do. Specimen 9 is a survivor from Unit 7... Fuck, I gotta look again. Yeah, 731. If you don't know what 731 is, Unit 731 is basically Auschwitz, but the Japanese version. The main...
That's right, yeah.
The main things you need to know about that is that they were conducting really fucked up experiments on people. And this is why this is considered dark, because Specimen 9 is a survivor that has possibly been raped, has multiple diseases and infections that were thrust upon them, as well as possibly being cut open and dissected while live. Specimen 9, like I said, is somehow a survivor of this. In this universe, Sorry, I forgot one important detail. Sorry, I'm like getting ahead of myself. They were not known to the public that they were doing these experiments, so they had multiple aliases to cover up what the facility actually was doing. One of which, and the most prominent one, was a log chopping company, or a lumberjack company. The reason this is relevant is because they would refer to dead bodies as logs, and Specimen 9, when you finally get to room 999, I believe, or 995 possibly, I'm not sure which one, you come across a note that basically says Specimen 9 is taking these logs and putting them back together. And when you get to room 1000, this is what he looks like. In the base game, the 2D version, this is what he looks like. A skin man without a jaw. And this is what he looks like in HD renovation. Very, very similar again. He has skin, bone, or not skin, he has like muscle and bone, but no skin, and he's missing his jaw. You have to fight Specimen 9 in order to actually beat the game, and it's a very Zelda boss fight.
What do you mean?
The only way to damage him is when he shoots ball projectiles at you, and you have to hit them back at him, and then hit him with your axe when he's stunned. Besides that, it's just dodging.
Is it an easy boss fight, or?
If you know what you're doing, yes. If you don't know what you're doing, it's very confusing.
Which makes it difficult for first-time players.
Exactly. It's also worth mentioning now, in Spooky's Dollhouse, he has a minor appearance. If you try to leave... So, okay, I'm not going to get into it, but basically this is what he looks like. He has an updated 3D model, and that's what it looks like. So, we have talked about Specimen 9. Do you have any questions about Specimen 9?
Why does he not have arms or legs?
Because he's a decapitated head.
But why does he have a body during a boss fight?
So, because he takes dead bodies and, like, assimilates them into his body.
That's cute.
Yeah. That is everything we need to know about Specimen 9. Really quick, I want to talk about the minor enemies that are in the game, and then we're going to end the episode. Spoilers are now off. So, in room 165, when you first meet Specimen 4, there are these class shadows that will appear if you shine your flashlight at them. And they do damage if you come into contact with them, and this is what they look like. This is at least the girl version. There's also a male version.
Is that the shadows of the class student?
Yes. The class shadows are a reference to the darkening and or other shadowy spirits from Corpse Party. Aside from the ones that are like a couple of rooms, how do you generally get away from specimens? Basically, the way that the game is worked out is that there are rooms, obviously, and as you run through the rooms, at a random interval, the specimen will stop chasing you. And there's also safe rooms. It starts at every 50 floors and then becomes every 100 floors after a certain point. So, these shadows are considered minor enemies because they are immobile. Any questions about the shadows? So there's a specific cutoff room. It is random every time you are chased. So the specimen can chase you for 5 rooms or 20 rooms. It's completely random. Unless you get to a safe room, and then you're safe. Safe rooms, I want to say you're like 50, 100, 150, 200, and then 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 995. So, there is also the Violent Deer. I was talking about them in Specimen 8. If you attack them, you basically get the bad end of the game. These count heavily toward the bad end of the game. They appear in rooms 552 to 556, and also in the chase sequence in Spooky's Dollhouse of Specimen 8s, which we'll get to that when we get to it. Spooky's Dollhouse is fucking difficult sometimes.
Do they leave you alone if you don't touch them, or?
If you get close to them, they try to bite you. As it says right here, the Violent Deer deals 20 damage with a cooldown of 2 seconds. They can also jump scare you with Specimen 8's face when they attacked, or when they attack, or when you get killed.
So if you don't get close to them, you're gonna be safe.
Yes.
Alright. And which one was the one that was a FNAF reference?
That, we can talk about them if you want to talk about them.
I'm curious.
Give me a second to finish talking about the minor enemies, and then we'll move on to them.
Okay, what are the unknowns?
We'll get to that in a second. Howard is the only jump scare in HD renovation. Technically.
Okay.
Basically, there's a randomly generated room that loops, and there's a chance for him to jump scare you randomly in the middle of the loop. That's it. That's all it's known about Howard. Does it make a difference with Specimen 8 if you kill them? No, it does not. There's also Wham, also known as Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Obviously the best character. He only appears in room 557, and he's kind of like a jump scare, but he doesn't actually like jump scare you. He just stands there, and then when you look at him, he goes away. That's basically all. That's all the minor enemies in the base game.
Alright.
And then you want to talk about unknown specimens. So unknown specimens can only appear in endless mode, and there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. There is an exception though, and I will get to that exception when we get to it. I'm not going to go over them in great detail. I'm just going to go really quick here. Unknown Specimen 1 is Whiteface from the game I'm Scared. I don't know a lot about their gameplay, but I fucking love Whiteface. It's absolutely fantastic. Here's the pixelated face. Here's the realistic face. HD renovation changes. It does not use its realistic face anymore in its regular chase. There you go. There's a lot to say about Whiteface if you actually play the I'm Scared game. I'm Scared is a fucking fantastic game, by the way. Just saying. Next is Otto the Otter, Unknown Specimen number 2. He's an animatronic. He attacks fairly quickly and deals 15 damage a second. Besides that, he's a fucking joke. As it says down here, Unknown Specimen 2 is based on animatronics from the horror game Five Nights at Freddy, namely Freddy Fazbear, who has a similar laugh. And he was created due to a group of dedicated FNAF fans constantly asking Akuma Kira to make a specimen inspired by the game. Akuma Kira, the creator, then proceeded to create Unknown Specimen 2 as a joke enemy. He also has a 3D model. This is what it looks like. Pretty cool, I guess. This is his death screen, as you can imagine. And this is what he looks like on stage in his room.
Really FNAF-like.
Yep, he is literally FNAF. He's literally FNAF, bro. And then we get Unknown Specimen 3. Unknown Specimen 3 appears in Endless Mode and also in Spooky's Dollhouse if you go for the true ending.
Okay.
So this one's kind of hard to explain. So we didn't talk about the endings of the game very much, because that will be for the Dollhouse and the other video if we do another episode on this. Unknown Specimen 3, aka Spooper, is a child wearing a ghost costume with black sneakers. It is a parasite. Its method of killing is impregnation and internal bleeding.
Oh, it kills by impregnating.
It doesn't mean that kind of impregnating. It means stabbing.
Okay.
It means to insert something, actually, specifically, I believe. So, Unknown Specimen 3, it will stand in front of the player, and it will not let them past the player unless you use your axe on them, in which case they will become bloody, and you will see an eye poking out of the kid's chest, and it also seems to be missing its stomach. And if you fully kill it, this parasite tries to chase you down and kill you. HD renovation, I don't think it has images. So this is what it looks like. This is when it's standing in front of the door. It slowly turns to face the player and just stands there. This is what it looks like when you start axing it a question. And then this is what it looks like when you finally deal enough damage to it to reveal its second phase. Oh, right. I forgot. So, okay. You know how it said impregnation, and I said it wasn't that? I forgot I'm wrong. It actually does impregnate you. It impregnates you with this.
Wait. What the fuck is that?
It's like a little alien worm thing. If you use your axe on the specimen, then it will attack you and put this little thing inside your body. You will then vomit it out, and it will transform into the parasite form.
Clean.
It's also in Spooky's Dollhouse. This is what it looks like when it's in Spooky's Dollhouse. There you go. The last unknown, two more unknown specimens. This one I know the least information about. This is Tirsiak. It's a
fucking anime character.
It is. It is a forest spirit. It is a female. Its method of death is clawing. It says, "Why do you run when you chase it?" It is a reference to 7 Inuit folk tales, such as Foxwoman, also Skinwalker.
Skinwalker.
Skinwalker. You've heard of Skinwalkers before. They kill people and shapeshift into their form.
Yeah.
This is what she looks like in HD renovation, which I think is a very big improvement. And, I think she has a second form? Yeah. I don't... This is her death screen. I don't know what the fuck is going on, because I've never played Endless Mode that much, so...
Because you don't enjoy it, or?
Yeah, I don't enjoy the challenge, it's too hard for me.
Fair enough.
And then this is what the protagonist looks like once it's been torn apart.
There's pretty much nothing left.
Yep. So, yeah, there's not a lot to say about that one. Like I said, I don't know a lot about the specimen. If you guys want to read more about it, there's the info right there. Just go on the wiki. Sorry. Unknown Specimen 5 is Lisa. She is just a lady.
You guys poopy lady. So what does she do? She just...
I have to read. I'm reading right now because I don't know. Apparently, she makes a slime variant of Specimen 1 appear with a note, and then the rooms become red and guttural. And then she chases the player. She slowly floats toward the player. The player must keep her in her sights, otherwise she will immediately appear behind them. She will slowly turn invisible if she hasn't teleported in a while, only becoming visible once the player stops observing her. She can still move even in the player's vision.
Wow. Eventually the room counter will freeze until the player has escaped her.
Yep. The death, you cannot dream without darkness. You cannot wake without pain. Tear off your foolish disguise. And then the notes, I've been watching you for some time now. Why even bother filling your lungs? Reading these won't help you, only death can help you. You think you're clever, don't you? Do you feel safe? Your blood smells so thick, I can hear the vessels oozing. It's a reference to PT, Silent Hill's playable teaser.
Did we mention that we have a new emote?
No, we didn't mention we have a new emote, by the way. We have a new emote. It is a love sign. Make sure you show off your love of the channel. And, yeah, this has been Spooky's episode 1 without Karma, for some reason.
Karma abandoned the Sag.
Yeah. Fucking Karma, bro.
Wow. This was in 30 episodes, this is the first time one of us was absent for an episode.
Yeah.
This is weird.
It's kind of like he was too scared of Spookies. This also is going to be one of our longest episodes, if not our longest.
No, longest, but I still wants to win me with Doctor Who.
True. But I said almost longest.
Fair. So, who are we sending people off to?
Let me take a quick look at my Twitch to see who we have live.
If we want to continue with the horror team.
Yeah, I was thinking, because I'm going to go watch him. We could also raid Samwise or Debo. Or Kine. Or Shotenma.
I'll let you decide. I often call the raids.
No, I don't want to keep raiding Azuki, but... We'll raid Debo. We haven't raided Debo in a while.
Good.
Sorry about the ad. Alright, everyone. Yes, please use NTR raid with your emotes. We're gonna raid Debo now. We will see you all next time. Next episode is gonna be about Elder Scrolls. Make sure you tune in. And it will be on Wednesday this time, next week.
Yeah, today was a weird day because I have work tomorrow and I finish at 10:15.
Make sure you go to all of our socials. If you're over 18 years old, join the Discord. Check us out on Twitter, we randomly post stuff, and on YouTube, all the VODs will be uploaded eventually. Have a good night, everyone.
Or the first one.
Except for the first episode. We don't talk about that. Give us your money, leave us your likes, subscribe, follow, favorite, whatever.
Whatever.